Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of our Friday Night Silliness. Today we are playing Kung Fu Panda, and this is actually the first Kung Fu Panda out of a trilogy of Kung Fu Pandas that were made. And I believe this came out in 2008, I believe. Anyway, it's a bit older, but I thought I'd cover it today. And there's no Joseph today, since tomorrow is actually our live Halo game night. So for those of you that'll be attending, it'll be pretty exciting. We got a really good lineup, and should be lots of fun. So anyway, I decided to cover this one today, just because I'm a huge fan of Kung Fu Panda, and yes, I know I'm 34 years old. Kung Fu Panda's for children, you know, but I don't care what anybody says. I really like the movie. I like Kung Fu Panda. I like Jack Black, who actually happens to still be the voice of Kung Fu Panda in this game, which I think makes it really cool and kind of gives it its own, its unique touch on the game. The game itself does take after the first Kung Fu Panda movie, so it's definitely a very generic game. It might not be a game that will appeal to everybody, but if you're like me and you're a very hardcore Kung Fu Panda fan, you will definitely like this game, for sure. I really like how the graphics sort of match the movie. It's not one of those where typically when you have an older game, the graphics are sometimes hard to look at. But I think Activision and DreamWorks did a really good job of putting this one together, and try to make you feel like you're in the movie. And some of the parts of the game kind of touch in between certain spots that aren't covered in the movie, so that's why you probably don't recognize some of these scenes and some of the maps, which is typical for any game that comes from a movie. So right now, this chapter right here is called Poe's Dream. So he's in his dream right now and fighting the bad guys, and I think these guys right here are like midget warthogs, or I think that, yeah, warthogs. And the game itself, I think, probably appeals more to children, unless you're, again, like me and you're a huge fan of Kung Fu Panda and you don't care. One of the other things that I really liked is, like, I really like the controls. It's pretty easy to figure out, even if you don't know them beforehand. X to attack, Y for strong attack, A to jump. It's pretty self-explanatory. The camera views are a little difficult if you're one of those where you prefer the inverted camera view. That's what it is on default. Unfortunately, you cannot change the camera view for some reason. It won't let you do it. So you kind of have to just, if you're like me, just kind of play through and just kind of bear with it. But other than that, if you don't mind it, and this game overall is pretty good. It's not. Another thing is, it's not one of those games that you'll probably want to play over and over. You might play through it maybe once, maybe twice. If you're like me, I like playing a game not only to have fun in the game, but I also like getting all the achievements. And this game definitely has a lot of them, and they're pretty easy to get too. Like pretty much every achievement, or most of them, you have to get 100% of all the optional objectives. In this particular chapter, you have to find 10 vases, which I believe I do end up getting, and I get the achievement for it at the very end. So that's cool, and each of those achievements are all worth 20 gamer score, which is cool. And they really start to rack up, and there's 13 chapters in all. So you do the math, that's quite a lot of gamer score for just finding all the stuff that you gotta find to get that achievement. But so anyway, this part right here is Poe has moved on, and he's continuing to fight the bad guys, and these guys right here are like Warthog clan leaders. And this is like... oh, by the way, there's also... by getting those green coins, there's also a lot of really cool concept art, which I'll show you at the very end of this video in the... exit screen. So if you haven't gotten any of the, gotten any of those green coins and you've played through this, you'll be able to see it in this video. So I thought that'd be kind of cool to throw in there. So this is for Xbox 360. I originally played this game on PlayStation, I believe it was PlayStation 3. And the reason why I kind of wanted to revisit this one is that I had a different profile under PlayStation 3, but I never got any of those achievements. Well, I decided to play this one again under Xbox 360 so I can get all those achievement paths. And I also really liked just playing the game in general too as well. There's also some cool figurines that you can collect too. I think it's there's one around the corner right here that I'm about to grab after I get all these dudes out of my way. And yeah, it's just right over here. So yeah, you can get figurines. There's a lot of cool concept art, and you can also get a lot of coins too, which you use to get upgrades and upgrade your stats and powers and stuff. So at the very beginning, you pretty much all you can do is just fast attack and strong attack, and of course jump. But as you play the game, it gets a little bit better, and it's pretty easy to kind of get used to it, and the combos are pretty easy to figure out. They're not like super complicated, and so that's cool. Anyway, so we're just about to wrap up this level. I have to just finish these guys off, and I believe this guy,
even when faced with the legendary sword of heroes, the warrior didn't flinch because he was that much of a master.
And I really like classic Jack Black. His funny one-liner is like, because he was just that awesome, or because he was just that cool, and he uses all his fancy kung fu moves. So, and I believe, this guy is really easy to beat, by the way. All you have to do is just block, and then when he stops swinging for a second, just press Y for strong attack, and that's it. And I believe I'm about to get it right about now. Yep, there it is. So anyway, that's our video for today. If you enjoyed, click like and share. Subscribe if you're new, and we hope to see you next week.
Shut up, let's go! I am Tai Lung, and you are no master.